everyone, this is Lindsay Ledger, the designated safeguarding lead, and I'm going to be delivering your annual safeguarding refresher training for the academic year starting September 20. As the training progresses, you can pause the presentation at any time to give yourself time to read a slide and digest the information before moving on. So to get things started, we'll just refresh our memories on who we should be reporting our concerns to. Concerns regarding children should, in the first instance, be reported to me as the designated safeguarding lead. If you can't find me, then Christina or Jane are trained to receive your concerns. The new safeguarding governor is Julie Challenger, and Nick Holmes remains in his post as chair of governors. Concerns should be raised as shown on this slide. Concerns regarding children should be reported on a yellow form. You should ensure that you include all detail relevant to the concern. If you are reporting your opinion rather than actual fact, this should be clearly indicated on the form. Use body maps for pre-existing injuries and complete them in full, giving a description of the injury, including the location, size, shape, colour, angle, and any explanation offered. Yellow forms and body maps are located in the box files behind my desk. Please feel free to take some or make your own copies to be kept in your classroom. Your completed forms should be handed to either me, Christina, or Jane. Forms should not be left on a workstation, as there could be a delay in the form being identified and actioned. If you identify a concern regarding a child outside of working hours, in the case of an emergency, you should ring 999. For non-emergency, ring 101 and ring eHash out of hours on 01482 395500. On the next available working day, please tell me about your concern and how you dealt with it. Please don't try to get this information to me outside of working hours. Concerns regarding adults should be raised with Christina. Christina uses a blue form for adult concerns, which she will provide and will also give further instructions. Concerns regarding Christina's conduct should be raised with either Nick Holmes, Chair of Governors, or Lorraine Wilson, the Local Authority Designated Officer. Please refer to the whistleblowing policy for more information on reporting concerns relating to the conduct of adults. If you've raised a concern in any of these categories and the concerns persist, in the first instance, speak to the person you raised them with. If you're still not satisfied, escalate your concerns to Christina, the Chair of Governors, the Local Authority Designated Officer, or contact the NSPCC. Concerns come in many forms and of varying degrees of seriousness, as you can see from this list. This list is not an exhaustive list, but gives you an idea of the kind of issues you should raise if you identify them. Please remember that no issue is too small and should be left unreported. Raise all concerns straight away. As part of your safeguarding responsibilities, you should have an awareness of the different types of abuse. Having a knowledge of these types of abuse helps you to identify concerns, so please have a look at the individual sections. These areas are covered in detail in your online safeguarding training, which is renewed every 3 years. I'll contact anyone whose training is due via email. Follow these steps when responding to a child who has made a disclosure. I often hear staff chatting to children and, in trying to get to a conclusion, staff sometimes ask leading questions. A leading question is a question which subtly prompts the child to answer in a particular way, often towards your own way of thinking. Leading questions result in false or slanted information, which makes the response unreliable, so please practice your TED questions. In addition to the usual safeguard responsibilities that we all have, it's vital that we are all aware of the COVID-19 arrangements and procedures designed to protect, as far as possible, the safety of the entire school community. We must all ensure we act as role models in this and should alert senior leaders if we have any concerns about the operation of the control measures. The start of this school year is unlike any other, and there is a likelihood, if not certainty, that some pupils will have experienced or been involved in various situations involving abuse, domestic abuse, neglect, mental health problems, or exploitation, including online, during lockdown. It's therefore vital that all staff remain aware and vigilant about the indicators or disclosures that may suggest that pupils are experiencing or have experienced harm or neglect. Early help safeguarding activity is offered universally and is based on the prevention of harm to all children. Families may need help with issues which could include behaviour management, financial difficulties, housing issues, pregnancy or illness. Any person or family can find themselves needing support with these or many other issues at any time, and we have a duty to support our families with early help and safeguarding needs. We do this by offering professional advice and signposting and referring to specific services. If you identify a child or family with early help needs, please come and speak to me for advice on next steps. Child protection is part of safeguarding and promoting welfare, but refers to the specific activity undertaken to protect children, not to 18 years, who are suffering or are likely to suffer significant harm. So just prior to lockdown, I emailed a copy of Keeping Children Safe in Education to everyone who has a school email address. For everyone else, I have a paper copy which will be given to you during our first week back. Every year there's a consultation to review the content of the Keeping Children Safe in Education document, and this year it's resulted in some changes and additions to the content. These changes come into force with effect from September 20. We don't have to read and understand the whole document, just Part 1 and Annex A. So on the next few slides, we'll look at the changes that have been made to both Part 1 and Annex A. This slide summarises our safeguarding responsibilities as set out in Keeping Children Safe in Education. You need to know the indicators of abuse and that someone may need support. You need to know how to report your concerns and who to report them to and what to do if they persist. So these are the changes to Part 1 of Keeping Children Safe in Education. Quite a lot of information has been added to the document relating to mental health. Therefore, a number of paragraphs have been amended to reflect the importance of mental health as well as physical health. Contextual safeguarding means that everyone who is working with a child or family should consider whether wider environmental factors are present in a child's life and could be a threat to their safety and or welfare. This goes beyond focusing on just the family, as young people are vulnerable to abuse in a range of contexts, including child sexual exploitation, child criminal exploitation, substance misuse and online abuse. Paragraph 28 reminds us that the possible indicators of both child sexual exploitation and child criminal exploitation could include unexplained gifts, possessions or phones, older friends or partners, changes in mood, misuse of drugs and alcohol, irregular or poor attendance, carrying knives or something similar, physical injuries, and signs of emotional harm and neglect. In primary schools, we may become aware of child criminal exploitation by disclosures or comments from children or through interaction with parents, siblings or other community members. Paragraphs 34 to 38 talk about mental health concerns. Children may be experiencing increased anxiety, behaviour problems, or there may be increased conflict at home. The disruption to a home or school routine may be stressful for children and they may be bored, lonely or confused. Children with existing mental health conditions may find that they are exacerbated by the lockdown. Paragraph 56 talks about the procedure to follow if you have a concern about an adult. Any such concerns should be reported to Christina. So this slide lists the changes to Annex A, and we've already covered some of the changes. So I'm just going to highlight a couple, the first being domestic abuse. During lockdown, we received a number of Operation Encompass emails notifying us of domestic abuse incidents that were happening in the homes of our children. All children can witness and be adversely affected by domestic abuse when it occurs in their home life between family members. Exposure to domestic abuse can have a serious, long-lasting emotional and psychological impact on children. Domestic abuse is any incident or pattern of incidents of controlling, coercive or threatening behaviour, violence or abuse between those aged 16 or over who have been intimate partners or family members, regardless of gender or sexuality. If you have any concerns regarding domestic abuse, please use the yellow form referral system and come and speak to me. With regards to prevent and radicalisation, keeping children safe in education states that we should not stop pupils discussing controversial issues and should instead provide a safe place in which children can debate ideas and discuss controversial ideas. Whilst you don't need to have an understanding of part 2 of keeping children safe in education, I wanted to let you know about these areas. The DfE are concerned at the poor achievement of the children who have or need to have a social worker. Therefore, there is an increased responsibility on the school and all those involved with the child to promote educational outcomes. This may mean increased or improved monitoring in respect of some children, but I will come and talk to you about each individual case and we'll work together to ensure these children receive all the support they need. There's also further information in part 2 regarding the link between mental health and safeguarding. Part 4 is another section that you don't have to read. However, there is some information in here that I wanted to share with you regarding your own personal conduct. This section talks about transferable risk and relates to your behaviour outside of the workplace that may indicate unsuitability to work with children. For example, the school would need to consider if a member of staff was involved in a domestic abuse incident not involving children and whether this would suggest that the individual may act inappropriately or unsafely in a challenging situation in school. So you can see with that example that although the incident didn't involve children, it brings into question a person's ability to handle a tricky or controversial situation in school. Transferable risk also includes conduct on social media, things like the photos and videos you post, comments you make, posts you like, and things you post that have other people on them, so please be very careful. We all need to be aware of hate incidents that may be prevalent at this time, such as anti-Chinese racism due to the reported origin of COVID-19, and incidents involving the recent Black Lives Matter movement. Please report any such concerns to me. We've already talked about the changes to part 4 of keeping children safe in education and the importance of having a professional presence on social media. Have a look at saferinternet.org.uk for lots of helpful information to help you maintain a professional reputation. All safeguarding inquiries and concerns are currently discussed with EHASH, which is a team of professionals who are based in Beverley and consists of police, social workers and health professionals. The management at EHASH are changing the way they operate and how they provide their service to their customers. At the moment, all I know is that they're going to change their name to the Central Safeguarding Hub. I'm due to attend some training shortly, so we'll have some more information for you in the next week or so. In the meantime, we should continue using the service as we currently do and contacting them on 01482 395500. Breast flattening is a form of abuse that has been raised by the local authority. You can access further information by following the link on the Childline website. So that concludes my presentation. If you've got any questions about anything you've read or heard, please email me on ledgerl@kingsway.eriding.net. Whether you have any questions or not, everyone must email me to confirm that they have viewed and understood the presentation. using the sentence that's displayed on the screen. Please also give your name and the date that you've looked at the presentation. Over the next few weeks, I'll be updating various safeguarding policies and I'll send you any relevant information. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching.